Right, Unit 5, Sabrina. Unit 1.1, list of values or codes of practice relevant to the work being carried out.
Park queues, risk assessments and health and safety checks are the main ones.
Right. 1.2, describe the requirements for health, safety and welfare relevant to own work, including Health and Safety at Work Act and requirements from relevant national governing bodies.
Follow the 1974 Health and Safety Act thing.
Right.
Use an accident report book inside the gym and a health and safety checklist.
Right, okay. 1.3, identify manufacturer's guidelines and instructions for the use of facilities and equipment.
Check like the instructions that come with it to see how it should be used, have like stickers on the side of it demonstrating on how the technique should be used properly with it.
Right. 1.4, describe why health, safety and welfare are important in an active leisure and recreation environment.
It's important in case someone does have an accident so you know how they're covered and what to do and how to prevent it.
1.5, identify the persons responsible for health and safety in your own workplace.
People responsible for health and safety. It'd be everyone, wouldn't it?
Who are the main people then?
The manager.
Right.
Like, and the instructors for the instructor check the equipment before they start like classes and teaching and stuff.
Okay. Outline your own organisation's security procedures in a gym.
To make sure all the equipment's safe to use. Make sure there's nothing on the floors or anything.
And then what about security wise?
Make sure there's like locks on things and on computers like have passwords and stuff like that.
And then for people coming in, what might they have to have?
Memberships and stuff,
Right,
and
okay.
like cards.
Right. 2.1, describe the types of hazards that are likely to occur in an own area of work and the accidents and injuries each could cause.
People leaving like weights on the floors and about wires being plugged in, people jumping over them.
Yep.
Spillages of like water on the floor.
Okay. Outline how to identify hazards.
Use a checklist and look round. If you see anything, stop them.
And then what would you use for that? What sort of document would you use?
Health and safety checklist.
Right, okay. List health, safety and security checks to be followed. List health, safety and security checks to be followed. So just give us an example of any. So when you work in a gym, what examples would you use there?
Make sure everything's put away.
Right.
As to avoid people falling over. Make sure nothing's just lying around like wires everywhere. Make sure when you leave the gym all the doors are locked and the people are even checking the membership cards.
Okay, good. Describe how to carry out a basic risk assessment of the types of hazards that may occur. So how would you carry out a risk assessment?
You identify what could be a risk, then identify whether it's like really serious or not as severe. Identify the potential outcome of what would happen to if someone did get injured on it.
Right. Describe why is it important to get advice from a relevant colleague if unsure about hazards and risks in your own workplace.
It's important because if you wasn't to get any advice you wouldn't know what to do in case anything occurred.
Yep. Identify who to ask if unsure about hazards and risks in your own workplace.
Ask someone superior to you because they will know.
Right. Describe how to deal correctly with the types of hazards that may occur in your own workplace, taking account of risks. Describe how to deal correctly with, so just an example of, with the types of hazards that may occur in your own workplace, taking account of risks.
You look at the risk, if anything does happen, put it in a accident report book and hopefully it'll get sorted.
Right. Identify documents relating to health and safety which may have to be completed.
Accident report forms.
Yeah. We talked about health and safety checklist before, that's fine. Outline how to complete health and safety documents correctly.
Make sure you list everything needs to be listed, the person's name, what's happened, when it happened.
What else might you have to do with it?
Send it off.
About like
Or sign it.
sign it and date it, yeah?
Sign it there, yeah.
Describe what is meant by safeguarding and protecting the welfare of children and vulnerable adults.
Safeguarding. making sure they don't come in contact with any weirdos and stuff.
Right, yeah. What else?
Making sure they don't catch you with like strange people, making sure that stuff's safe for them to use, because what's safe for someone that's an adult over 18 will not be safe for like a pregnant woman or a child under the age of 18.
Right. Good. Describe own role and responsibilities for safeguarding and protecting children and other vulnerable people.
To make sure that they don't use anything they shouldn't be using, and to make sure that they're safe when they're doing their stuff in the gym.
Right. List 4 types of abuse.
Physical, mental, emotional and sexual.
Right, okay, good. Outline the basic indicators and impacts of each of the 4 types of abuse. So how would you recognise that those were going on in the gym?
Emotional, people tend to be like really shy and quiet and not really socialise much.
Right.
Physical, do a lot of bruising and physical marks. Obviously you can't really physically tell, it's more opening up really.
Right, okay, good. Describe the risks that individual abusers or potential abusers pose to children and vulnerable people.
They pose, so what question from?
Describe so what risks are there if people are vulnerable?
People are going to, can't think of the word.
So you've got a young kid and you see something that's not quite right, what sort of risks could there be there?
Mental scarring.
Right. Okay. Describe organisational policies, so the place you work, and procedures in relation to safeguarding and protecting, including reporting procedures. So if you saw something going on, what would you do?
You have to report it to someone, obviously higher up.
Yeah.
And hopefully something will come of it and they'll sort it out.
Okay. Outline what to do if you're concerned about possible abuse. So if you see something happening, what would you do?
You'd report it, but also try to stop it.
Okay. Describe how to respond to a child, but then you'd have to just do it within your job role, wouldn't you? Right, so you couldn't get involved too much, you'd have to pass it on to relevant people, yeah? So who might they be?
Managers, parents, if it's like a child, parents of the child.
Yeah.
And stuff like that.
Good. Describe how to respond to a child or someone else disclosing abuse or concerns about abuse. So if a child came up to you and said something to you, what would you do?
You'd report it to like a parent or someone above you, so that you could get it sorted, or even social services if it's a child.
Yeah. Outline what to do if there are barriers to reporting your own concerns. So if someone's saying, "Oh no, you don't report that," then what would you do?
Go to the police and tell the police.
Okay, good. Identify statutory agencies with responsibilities for safeguarding and protecting.
Social services. There's another one. I can't remember what we call them.
Things like the NSPCC. Yeah.
NSPCC and Childline.
Okay. Outline when to contact. Outline when to contact those agencies with responsibilities for safeguarding and protecting. So when would you be phoning them?
If you saw it physically going on, or if they actually came and told you about it.
Right.
Or even if you had like the slightest idea that something was going on, just to protect the child, rather than an idiot than have the child hurt.
Yeah, and then how would you contact those agencies?
Phoning them, writing a letter, writing an email, actually going to visit them if you live close by to where the society thing is.
Okay. Describe why it's important to share your concerns about possible abuse with others.
It's important because if someone is getting abused, then the person that's abusing them needs to be in prison. They should not be roaming the streets where the children are.
Right. Describe the limits of your own competence with regard to safeguarding and protecting, so staying within your job role.
It's got the same job role because you can't get involved too much because it's obviously you're meant to be a professional, so you have to more than just chat yourself.
Good. Outline why it's important to treat information about possible abuse confidentially.
It's important to keep confidential because you don't want everyone knowing, neither will a child or a vulnerable adult.
Right. List types of accidents, injuries and illnesses that may occur in your own area of work.
Falls, like slips, possibly like falling off the treadmill and stuff like that.
outline how to respond correctly to emotional distress.
Try like talk them down, make sure they're okay, speak to them really.
Okay. Outline how to deal with accidents, injuries and illnesses before qualified assistance arrives. So, say for example somebody's fallen over, dislocated their ankle, poolside or in the gym, then what would you do?
You try to calm them down and just get them to stay there and not move, just so I don't like cause them further injury.
Right. Describe how to decide whether to contact the on-site first aider or immediately call the emergency services.
If someone was like having a fit or something, you'd contact emergency services because you can't have someone there fitting in the gym. And if it was like someone falling over and cutting something, just contact the first aider to get it like bandaged or something.
Identify who the on-site first aider is and how to contact them.
All gym places have a little thing saying first aiders and then this gives a name so you go find them.
Yep. Describe the procedures to contact the emergency services.
Go before and ring 999.
Correct. Outline why is it important to protect the casualty and others involved from further harm.
Yeah, just protect as so they don't cause any further harm. That's the question really.
Yeah. Outline the procedures to protect the casualty and others.
Uncovering positions, making sure they don't move when they've hurt something, and making sure others stay back from them.
Okay. Outline why it is important to provide comfort and reassurance.
So they don't panic because the body can go into shock and they can send them unconscious.
Okay, good. Describe how to provide that comfort and reassurance.
Just sitting there, obviously talking to them, making sure they're okay, and if they need anything, getting them there.
Yeah. Outline your own responsibilities for reporting accidents.
Making sure it's in an accident report book, otherwise it can't get dealt with.
Yeah. Outline the procedures for reporting accidents. So you've said that really.
Yeah.
Accident report book. Describe the emergency procedures in your own place of work. Say for example there's a fire alarm, what would you do?
Go and just order the fire assembly plan, which will be listed on a wall with a little green sticker.
Good. Outline what instructions must be given to people involved.
Instructions must be given that they go out orderly in single file and not to cause a massive scene.
Outline organisational reporting procedures for emergencies. So if you've got an emergency, what have you got to do?
Write it all down and then report it to someone.
Someone else. Describe the types of problems that may occur when carrying out emergency procedures.
Problems that carry out, someone get this like a fire alarm, someone staying in the building and not paying attention, or someone getting trapped.
Yep. Describe why those problems that occur should be reported. So if for example there's a fire alarm, if there's any issues, why might it be important to report those issues?
Report it so if it ever happens again it'll run more smoothly and then the problem will not occur again.
Good. Identify who to report them problems to.
Either a person that's sorting the fire equipment out if they get like someone getting stuck in, or the manager for people just not paying attention and just talk to everyone.
Good.